We're live. It's Friday, the 17th of December. It's 8 o'clock. This is the Retro Bear from the Gaming Pantry. First of all, wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas. And thank you very much indeed for joining us on this very, very special stream as part of the 12 streams of Christmas put together by my very good friends, Game Zone Bird Room, and of course, Inked Northerner. This is going to be about Christmas television, past, present, future, maybe. I don't know. We could do all three levels of ghostness tonight. I don't know. But yeah, so it's going to be a conversation about that. So if you've got any questions, any comments, any memories of Christmas television, do put them in the chat. I'll try and get those through as quickly as possible. Nice to see we've had people arriving already. Liam Retro Rams here. Mrs. Bear's here. Mr. Corbana, who's got his quiz on Monday night. We'll talk a bit more about that later. Nate the Game Shack is here. Game Zone Bird Room, I mentioned just a few months ago. Chili's here as well. Good to see you, Chili. John Bunday is here as well. John's been all the streams so far, I think, so far. John, nice to see you here again tonight. And also, Nate mentioned Geordie Slasher. Mark sent me a message. Unfortunately, he's got something on tonight, so he won't be popping in either, but he'll be listening on catch up. And Susie's here as well. Hi, Susie. Hope you're okay as well. Yeah, so we've got a Christmas tree. I've got some guest lines that one of them appears to have disappeared. What's he done? Oh, he's come back again. There we go. Sorry. Technical problems already. Technical problems, even though I'm doing a completely different stream. So I was going to get some special guests in tonight, but unfortunately they all cancelled at the last minute. Angela Rippon was going to come on, and she very famously danced in 1977, but she can't be with us tonight. Jodie Whittaker, who's playing Doctor Who on New Year's Day, she can't be with us tonight. She's appearing in Aladdin at I think it's Scunthorpe Baths, so she can't make it. Bruce Forsyth was going to be here, but then he realised he was dead, so he can't make it either. And Her Majesty the Queen can't make it either. She's done a back-in or something. So I've had to run through my very, very small list of contacts and managed to pull together this wonderful selection of YouTubers and close friends, which I will add all to the stream at once, if they weren't expecting. So over there is Liam, Retro Ram. Below me here, Nath Retro 1. And if I can do it over there-ish, and put your thing that way, there is Pete Fighter 2. And we're missing one, but he's not here yet, so he'll be here when he gets here. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you all?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Great.
Good. Thank you very much for coming along and supporting this ramshackle stream. I think it's probably the best way to put it. It's probably thrown together a bit rough-handed, but I appreciate everybody giving up their time to come along here. Who else is here? Paul's here as well. Link Northerner, I mentioned him earlier. Oh, Craig Goodwin's Place is here. Good to see you as well. And Eddie was going to be here, but he's asleep. Yes. He slept through most of these so far. Even the one he was on the other night, he may not have noticed, but there we go. So, guys, we're discussing Christmas television past and present. I should get this one out of the way first of all. A copy of the Radio Times, which is pretty much staple in my household for Christmas. Usually accompanied by a highlighter pen, because then what you do is go to the Radio Times and you highlight all the stuff that you want to watch. We used to buy two of these. Well, we 2 years ago, one for downstairs and one for me upstairs, so I could highlight all the stuff that I wanted to watch, and on my own basis.
How thick is it these days?
How thick?
Is it? Does it include all the Sky and Netflix and? All
292 pages. There we go. Yeah, and it costs a whopping £5.25.
Jesus.
Does it
have that's a random amount, guys.
That's it, isn't
I
it?
used to begrudge paying $4.99 for the PlayStation magazine, and that had a demo disc on the front.
I mean, usually this has got a great big. It's got actually some Christmas advertising in the middle, which I checked rid of. Usually there's an advert for holidays in the middle, but obviously, given the fact we're in the middle of a pandemic, there's actually no adverts for holidays this year, which is really weird.
Cigarettes adverts.
No, but it does appear to be what's his name? Rolf Harris advertising learning how to swim, which is rather weird, but there we go. But
I suppose there's worse thinking. All right.
But I'm £5.25 now. It covers everything. I'm not in a huge amount of detail because they'll only cover the major channels and a few of the big non-terrestrial channels, and then they'll put everything else in there. But £5.25. That's a horrendous amount to pay for it. Retro Dome Music. Good evening to you, all the way from Germany. Mr. Chicken's in as well. And Duncan, Woody Weebles here. Pete Fighter on the cover of the Radio Times. Pete, would you like to?
That's why I was rolling my sleeves up. That's fighting talk.
Oh dear. Right, so to sort of start this off, Stuart's here as well, Generation Pixel. Let's go back on. Just a quick question. I'll start with a quick question because Nate was very kind to post a question straight away, which is, was he the only one who cried at Noel's Christmas presents? Now, do you remember Noel's Christmas presents?
Probably. I've got a cold heart, so yeah.
When I was growing up, it used to be Noel Edmonds was on BBC One, and he'd take over pretty much the entire morning of just covering good-natured stories and doing a live telethon and getting people to ring in and Christmas guests and all this. The one year I was reading old TV listings, which I'll get to again shortly, and there was advertised one year. It was like all the guest stars they listed down, which was basically pretty much all the big stars from televisions and some convicted paedophiles. And
so there was one.
Not at the time, no, obviously not at the time.
Yeah,
but obviously
they went scraping the barrel, yeah.
Well, they were at the time, but afterwards they found them out. But they were advertising one year that there was a Christmas party on board. Was it Christmas party on board a jumbo jet somewhere at 32,000 feet? It was the world's highest Christmas party ever, and that the celebrity guests they'd lined up for that were the Crankies. And I remember sitting there reading that, thinking, "There's no escape at 32,000 feet, is there? You can't get away from it. You've got to jump out the plane, or that's it."
Is the winner the person who hits terminal velocity first after jumping?
Yeah, they'd be queuing up to get out, wouldn't they? They'd literally be queuing up to get out of that door.
Little Jimmy Cranky could probably fit through one of the little porthole windows. So
I'm surprised they didn't pitch Jimmy Cranky.
Just saying.
Yeah, it is. John's made a good point. Yeah, we'll go into Nan's going through the Radio Times, see what Christmas specials are. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. You spend a week beforehand going through the Radio Times and finding out what's in there. So
films on,
yeah, it is one of them. So, as a way of kicking things off, we'll just revert to my notes. So, I'll start with you, Liam. I'll go around everybody. I mean, in terms of television at Christmas, what does that mean to you as such? Or what did it mean then? What does it mean now?
Well, both the same, really. It's always Christmas specials of something. So whatever TV series you've been watching at the time or whatever, they would always have a Christmas special, whether it's literally just after the series is finished or whether it's been months later. I'd like watching that. So it could be a comedy show that'd have a Christmas special. It could be something stupid like now. I watched the Gadget Show Christmas special that's not actually on Christmas Day, but stuff like that. That's the main thing for me. Because obviously, like movies nowadays, you just watch them whenever you want.
Well, that's it. You mentioned the Christmas specials, and that was always one of the attractions of the Christmas TV schedule. That the major programs would always have a specially themed episode that was filmed sometime in July, usually either on location somewhere hot or in front of a studio audience, and done up Christmassy. So the big shows of the day when we were growing up all had Christmas specials, what you look forward to every year. The big one, of course, when I was growing up, was the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show. If anybody doesn't remember Morecambe and Wise, we're going back to 1950s, 60s, 70s. They were probably Britain's best-known comedy double act. And for about 7 or 8 years, a Christmas show was the most talk-about show of the year. 1977 was like 28 million people watched their Christmas show. Now, obviously, back in 1977, you had 3 channels to choose from. And there's, that was it. They just didn't bother. Nobody else bothered. If that was on, they wouldn't bother putting anything on at all. So that was the one thing you look forward to.
Even now, though, when I was growing up, I remember wanting to watch it, and obviously, it would have been long gone by the time I would have remembered watching. It would have been the 90s. For me, so I remember watching it because I like their humour. It suits me down to the ground. The older comedy. Yeah,
I agree because it was before my time. But to be fair, I think every year since about 1995, BBC have shown one Christmas special a year, and it's something I always watch because I've seen like 100 times before. That's one of my staple sort of Christmas viewings now. Goodwood's Place mentions Bond, Doctor Who, and Only Fools and Horses. Only Fools and Horses was obviously a very, very big one. Raz is here, all the way from Sweden. I hope he finds this interesting. See, it differs from how things are done over there. Nate says the Royal Family Christmas specials. Those the one with dinner at Denise's is a classic. Susie says the uplifting EastEnders Christmas Day deaths. Yes, just brings everything in perspective, doesn't it? You've had fun and joy throughout the day, and then you can sit down and watch EastEnders and realise that, yeah, it really is miserable out there at times at the best of it. And Steve's here as well. Steve's also doing a stream as well, which we'll talk about a bit later. What about you, Nathan? What about Christmas TV memories? You know, what did you look for back then? What do you look for now?
So back, I think when I was in kind of my teens and that, I would go through the kind of TV times like you have, and I would just look for films that were coming out. There'd always be kind of the Christmas films on that would come out, like your Home Alone, your Die Hard would be there, Scrooged, just things like that, and like they would be all throughout it. But yeah, there was nothing quite like a Christmas special as well. Comedies, I was going to say, like Goodwin saying Doctor Who, like was that in the early 2000s it just came back, like Doctor Who and the Christmas special was like quite a big thing.
Resurrected 2005,
Yeah.
regenerated 2005, which is and they did a Christmas special for about 10-12 years, and then although they do an episode at Christmas now, it's on New Year's Day. I think they've moved it away from Christmas Day. Yeah,
I haven't watched it for a while. I know Kylie was in one of them. That's about it.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
But there was so many like good Christmas episodes and things like that. Like you say, there's always the kind of Morecambe and Wise, but then like Fools and Horses. Like I can't remember like all of them, to be fair. I can't think of everything, but yeah, now it's just saturated. You go on Netflix, and a month before Christmas, you can watch like just every Christmas film, can't you? So it's kind of changed. Everything's kind of on tap as soon as you get to the end of November. It is a Christmas Pikmin in a hat. So
it is. Yeah,
finish your mulled wine. There you go.
It's good, that one, isn't it? I like that. I like to stuck those in. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody else has commented yet. But yeah, these days, like Christmas, I mean, I'll watch things like Midnight Mass and things like that, which I wouldn't like watch when I was younger. But it just kind of puts you more kind of in the Christmas spirit. You just have their
we watched that as well.
Drink of choice, and then just chill out with something like that.
That's something I've picked up from Claire, because she will always watch that, or the whatever carol service they've got on that late at night. I never used to watch that at all.
No, I don't. But
we did. It depends what sort of service it is, because so you said sometimes it's mass, sometimes it's just a Christian service, and depending on who's doing it, what it's like, it can either be a bit dry or a bit, a bit all sort of exciting and full of joy of the season.
But some things I do remember, like when it's coming up to Christmas, back when I first got Sky, when I moved in with my now wife, and you had the white Sky box. I think it was just Sky Plus back then. And you knew it was coming up to Christmas because they changed the music on the bloody Sky box to some kind of Christmas background music, and you had the menus. Because you didn't have the like preview in the menu, you had to go through the menu and just search stuff, and they changed it to the blooming Christmas music. That was pretty awesome. And then Gold had loads of Christmas specials on. Harry Enfield, there's another Christmas special. So
it's like we do at work. We change the music on the whole music at work to Christmas music now.
And how could I forget?
That's what we have in the shop.
Yeah,
Wallace and Gromit as well. That's Christmas. Like, how could I forget that one? That was always.
Wallace and Gromit is on every bloody weekend of every year. It seems like that anyway. It does. It really does seem like that.
Retro Claire just put a DVD on and be like, "Yeah, it's on again," because she wants to watch it, and you just fall for it.
I've not watched Wallace and Gromit for ages.
It was always waiting for the adverts. Like the first time you saw either the Coca-Cola advert or the Toys R Us, that's when it was Christmas for me. That's when the first time I'd see that. But now, like, we just fast forward through all the adverts, don't we, sir?
I know a guy who's recorded all the John Lewis adverts for like the last so many years.
My first reaction would be why.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but he's a proper. I mean, I can talk about him because I know he doesn't know about this aspect of my life. So he's a proper sort of cries at everything kind of guy, overly emotional at films and stuff. And he always has a cry at the John Lewis adverts.
Oh God, I'd cry about how much money they spent on putting them together, but that's it. Claire makes a good point. I mean, you have the Christmas adverts on television, but of course now everything's on demand, or you download it. And again, it's how viewing habits have changed over the year, which you can try and touch on a little bit, but it's a good point. Some good comments here. John says soaps do enjoy killing people off at Christmas. I think that's the reason why they have these on Christmas Day, just because someone's contract's coming up for renewal or something, and they just knock them off
before the tax year.
That's it. Woody Weeble says not Christmas until I watch the Bottom Christmas special. Yeah, complete classic. Vodka margarine. Oh yeah, fantastic. That is Bottom. There we go. All gold Frankenstein and Guru. That was brilliant. That was absolutely superb. It is. I mean, it might not be everybody's style of humour, but my goodness me, again, it doesn't feel like Christmas until I watch that, really.
I do like the Halloween one when they're dressed in those stupid outfits and he keeps poking him with the cattle prod. That's one of my favourite ones.
Yeah, that's right. Nate says, I don't think to receive a ticket anymore. All stuff is streamed. That's how it goes now. That is absolutely right. Gavin Spacey Christmas special last year. I can't remember the last time I paid attention to a proper Christmas special. That wasn't the annual Doctor Who one. Maybe only Fools and Horses. Well, again, that's because people's viewing habits have changed. Gone are the days where Christmas was spent the entire family stuck around the television because there was something on that you all wanted to watch, or there was a big event. Because now you don't have to do that. You can watch it on demand. You can record it. You can watch it on your way to work the following day. So these days of massive television audiences and massive television events just don't exist anymore now.
It's funny about the adverts. I just wanted to kind of touch on that because for work there was a Christmas bingo we're doing, and one of the things on there was see the Coca-Cola advert like on telly, which I'd kind of envisioned being on all the bloody time, but it's just not there anymore. I mean, like how many?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've not seen it. I think
it's the sugar tap. He's waiting for the Diet Cola truck instead.
Yeah, Pepsi one's been on or something.
I don't know. I can't remember who said it about not having a TV signal actually in the house, and we're the same. We don't even have like terrestrial at the minute.
Wow.
But I have seen the John Lewis advert so many times through 4 on demand. It's untrue.
But even Andrex adverts at Christmas with like the puppies on a frozen lake. Just are they going to go through? Are they not? Or are they going to slip to the other end?
That's it. Also about adverts, John Lewis advert on YouTube about 5 times in a row before seeing it on TV. Yep, that's absolutely right. Jim reciting the old Toys R Us advert there.
I can't wait for him to come back.
Here. Yeah. What, Toys R Us?
Mm.
They're not coming back, are they?
Mm.
Are they?
Yeah.
Didn't work the first time around. We'll have another stab at it or something.
Yeah, they're having another go. They'll be back. I'll be there.
Yeah. Adverts. I was brought up with the BBC. I agree, Duncan. Oh, this advert business coming from. I really don't. Sean said there's someone missing from this stream. There is, and there is still a space if they're available. Pete,
playing COD again.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Christmas card.
Christmas card. Yeah. Pete, what about yourself? I mean, I know when I asked you to come on here, you were a bit, sort of, let's say, sceptical, but it's not really an area that you sort of know an awful lot about. But I mean, what about when you were growing up? I mean, I know it's probably not so much now. What about you? Was TV a big thing in your house at Christmas, or?
No, it really wasn't. When I was a kid, we weren't allowed the TV on at Christmas. It was enforced family time, whether we liked it or not. Most of the time, we didn't. But no, there were no Christmas, no TV, especially on Christmas Day. We were always out in the evening on Christmas Day anyway. So I don't know. Christmas TV just kind of passed me by. As I've grown up, I've sort of got box sets, and I've seen the Bottom Christmas specials, the Memby Evan Badley ones, Blackadder Christmas Carol, and things like that. But at the time, I don't really remember actually watching anything apart from one thing, which I probably want to talk about later, called the Flint Street Nativity, which was amazing.
Oh yes, I know what you're about. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it just kind of passed me by. Like nowadays, the main thing I look forward to is the Big Fat Quiz of the Year. We watch that every year, and it's amazing.
It's on Channel 4, that one. Is it Channel 4? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as my TV, I don't really watch much TV, but when I do watch TV, I do tend to go towards panel shows and stuff because that's just the kind of thing I love. And I tend to prefer the ones that are less scripted, like not like Mock the Week and stuff. The ones that really just go off script and go off on stupid tangents. And with like Big Fat Quiz being like a 2-hour show, it's probably being recorded for about 4 or 5 hours. And the cast are drinking, and by the end of it, they're just completely blind. So it just makes for a really entertaining watch, and I do look forward to that every year. But aside from that, I've not really. This is a learning experience for me.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
I've not really seen much.
I'm all for that. I'm all for educating people about Christmas TV. Okay, so I mean, for me, Christmas was TV was a massive part of Christmas growing up. For all the way through my early years, because that's what we used to do. I remember every year, Boxing Day and New Year's Day, on like a rotation basis, our house, my granddad's house, or my auntie's house, we'd all family would go around. You can guarantee inevitably at some point the TV was going to be the focal point of what's going on. So there'd be loads of us piled around into the lounge watching the television, whatever was on there. It was just a magical time with everything else going on. You got the decorations up, you got that whole Christmassy feeling. You're a kid, it's exciting. And even years later, if I was saying into my like 20s, I remember when Jurassic Park came on the telly, which was probably about 96, I think it was. 95, 96 maybe. I think it was on Sky earlier than that, because that was different rules back then. They could show things not so, about 18 months after they were in the cinema. I think Jurassic Park was 94 on Sky, because it was cinema release was 93. I think it was on Sky's big premiere in 94. Then there was a couple of years later come the BBC. Obviously I'd seen it in the cinema. Pretty much everybody's seen it by that point, apart from my dad. And I sort of said, you're going to sit down on Christmas Day, you're going to watch this film. So I actually made him sit down and watch that. And it's probably the last time, all 4 of us, me, my sister, my mum and dad, sat down and actually watched a big sort of television event like that. Because it would have been a big television event back then. It was a massive film, and it was the first time it was shown on television. But even as I got older, we would still spend a lot of our time sat in front of the television on Christmas Day. And even we probably don't do it so much now. Me and Claire, we probably don't do it a great deal. Usually in the evening, there's nothing else on, but we tend to watch a lot of stuff on catch-up like a lot of people do. So our viewing habits have changed a great deal as well. And it's a shame, really, because you don't have that big family event anymore. Ian's here. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well. Mr. Bean every Christmas. Yeah, no, you mentioned that, didn't you, Nathan, in our chat the other day?
So I was saying, is Mr. Bean Christmas TV in anyone's opinion? Because I would say it is, because it's always on at Christmas. Although their episode's not set at Christmas, it always just seems to be on. Episode 426 or whatever, definitely not. But for the most part, you always have like a Mr. Bean at like Christmas. There you one with the Boxing Day sales for one of them, and like the New Year's party and things like that. I always consider that Christmas TV. Yeah, even down to the kind of the carols at the start of it, not the carols, but the kind of the choral music and that. Like I associate that with Christmas.
See, I would argue. I would argue and say that the only Christmas Mr. Bean is Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, because all the other ones are just regular episodes. The Merry Christmas one is quite funny when he got the turkey stuck on his head. That's that's quite funny.
That's the ones that I always kind of think of. There's the one with the baby, the one with the golf. They're definitely not. The one where he goes to the beach, that's not. But you don't remember that.
The one with the armchair on top of the car.
That one. And the one where he goes shopping for like baubles and just tests them out and smashes them on the floor, and if they smash, doesn't buy them or whatever. Like the nativity scene with like a dinosaur and a tank and that's just quality, isn't it?
That's just my house.
Goodwin's Place agrees.
I've got more dinosaurs on my Christmas tree than anything else, I think.
Yeah, Goodwin's Place agrees with you. Mr. Bean is 100% Christmas.
Thank you, Craig. See, talking sense.
Pedro's here. Good evening, mate. No variety shows anymore. Modern TV is absolutely rubbish and caters to no one while attempting to cater to everyone. I certainly agree with that point about no variety shows anymore, because that's what big television shows were all about back then.
So we always did that kind of thing on New Year's Eve, we always watched Jules Holland and stuff like that.
Mm.
We were allowed TV on
Yeah.
then, and we were allowed whatever sport was on Boxing Day, but
Nothing
there's
else.
never anything on Christmas Day. It was all about family time and board games and stuff.
Yeah, John agrees with me. Love Mr. Bean.
I just read that as bring back Morecambe and Wise. I'm like,
That would be a bit tricky unless you have any sort of like reanimatory abilities.
pick them up and
I can do without Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh,
Yes, yeah. I really don't want to get into that one. I was thinking about the same Pedro. Bit of the Royal Family. Yeah, been mentioned on earlier.
Ronnie's Christmas special though. Yes.
Yeah, Dibley's a classic. Mr. Bean is very good. Also, Dylan's here as well. Good evening, Dylan. Susie doesn't like Mr. Bean.
No, she thinks too literally, and she finds the idea of somebody like him being actually allowed out on the streets actually quite scary. She can't see the joy in things like Home Alone because of like the child neglect and stuff.
Oh no, it's taking it way too
Different
seriously.
times. We had that in the 80s all the time. Save money on airfare.
I'd like to say I'm surprised by the comment on the screen, but I'm not because of who it's come from. My odd Christmas special I love is the Brainiac special, which was a sort of a fun science program that was on Sky, which was Richard Hammond, probably just after he started doing Top Gear. Why would you pull 500 crackers at once? Yeah, that sounds very seasonal. Yeah, Steve, bring out Morecambe Wise, the two Ronnies. Yeah, you always guarantee they're going to be somewhere on the schedules. Vicar Dibley with all the dinners, where she goes around six or seven Christmas dinners that day she has or something.
But it's usually a lot of reruns because I find that Christmas TV is crap. Without if they took away all these repeats, what would they actually have?
Well, yeah, there's not a lot, is there, really? They wouldn't show them if there was nothing else to do anyway, would they? They'd have to keep bringing them out and doing that. Even as far back as the late 80s, they started resurrecting programmes and Christmas specials from the 70s. And it's a trait which has followed all the way through because a lot of the Christmas schedules are made by repeats. Hell, they even repeat stuff that's been on at Christmas the same year. You can guarantee that they're going to... I think BBC are showing Spider-Man Homecoming tonight as a premiere on television, and guarantee that they've been trying that for Christmas already. That's going to be shown again at some point over the holidays. And some of the big Christmas television programmes and the big Christmas films, again, will be shown at least twice during the holiday period in case people miss them, which is, again, I think it's really weird to do that.
Take something they are bringing back just at Christmas, though, now. Top of the Pops, isn't it?
Well, Top of the Pops is on every year. Every year.
But
even when Top of the Pops isn't on, it's on every year. It gives you an idea of how crap they're
I like the old ones. The 80s one that they show, that's our favourite.
I agree. The new one is going to be just Elton John and Ed Sheeran, isn't it? It's like my idea.
People I don't listen to.
World's Strongest Man is on the show at Christmas. They do Channel 5 show that now.
I'm right.
The World's Strongest Man sitting right there. There he is. Pete said about Blackadder Christmas Carol. Yeah, that's a very good ending on that one. You're absolutely right, Martin. That's really, really good. I won't talk about that.
How many remakes of the Christmas Carol are there? Like even
film-wise, loads.
I've got a Batman graphic novel, which is a retelling of Christmas Carol, which is absolutely amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think who it is. It's like there's like just a lowly criminal guy plays the role of Bob Cratchit. I think Superman's the ghost of like the future and stuff. Joker's one of the ghosts. It's been a few years since I've read it, but it's really well drawn and it's a really good book. It's called Batman Noel.
I remember
as opposed to Batman Noel.
Yeah, Noel's Christmas presents. Yeah,
Batman Noel's Christmas presents.
I remember the Ghostbusters cartoon of like a Christmas Carol where they suck up all the ghosts. Like that was
Iron Man 3 is apparently Iron Man 3 is apparently a Christmas Carol. It's very cool. But I read like a piece on it once, and it does make a lot of sense. But Iron Man 3 is dog shit, and so I haven't bothered watching it again.
Who's Scrooge?
It's Tony Stark.
Oh, of course, that makes sense, wouldn't it?
Not mine. I didn't see that.
I remember one year on Christmas Carol, 1 year Holby City did exactly the same thing. They did a variation on the Christmas Carol based around one of the doctors, Elliot Hope, I think it was. It was like really weird. It's like, wow, they take this incredibly seriously. Noel Edmonds is Batman. Now, explain why you don't see a lot of him nowadays. He's obviously fighting crime elsewhere.
Still be better than Val Kilmer.
Probably.
Sorry.
Better than most of them, anyway. So
I was surprised you went to Kilmer and not Clooney there.
Well, they're both.
Well, they
Secret Clooney,
aren't they?
They both in Do It Again, so I think we can.
To be honest, Ben Affleck's pretty awful, isn't he?
Shut up.
Oh, sorry.
Not talking Batman. Right. Now, unbeknownst to, well, I did ask the guys prior to coming on, and I know they've all been really busy, so they haven't done so. Doing research for this stream, yes, I did do research. Believe me, the first time I've ever actually done research for a stream. You thought we'd just turn up and just talk out about backsides half the time, which is what we do. But I did a bit of research this time. Anybody's interested, there's a website which I'd like you to go and have a look at. You'll probably find it's a little bit of fun. It's called the BBC Genome, and that's spelled Genome. And what it does, it gives you all the TV listings forever. For anything, BBC One, BBC Two, the radio listings, everything like that. I suppose there's a little bit of fun for yourself. You want to join in at home, or you want to do this afterwards. But do it now. Watch the stream, do it afterwards. That's better. So people clear it off. Yeah, go and watch this now. We'll just carry on talking till you come back. And go and find out the year you were born, or a particular year you remember. Every single listing on there is for TV. And I was born in 75, so I thought I'd have a quick look at Christmas Day 1975. Now, again, as I said, we only got 3 channels to choose from. I've only got access to the BBC stuff, so I haven't got access to TV times or anything like that. So, I suppose really for balance, I should have had something like that, but I haven't. And television didn't ring until 9 o'clock in the morning that day. 9 o'clock in the morning, now we got 24-hour television. And there was a children's program, there was some sort of carol program. What have we got here? Christmas morning service at 10:30, where the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh attended, and then at 11:45 we got the rather scary Rod Hull and Emu Sing a Christmas Song, which is really scary.
Not on top of the roof, I hope.
Changing the aerial.
Awkward.
that was
it just reminds me of the jokes that happened. When everyone used to say, can emus fly? And everyone used to go, no, but that's funny because now they can rod off. I just remember that. Bring the tone down, but
that was then followed by a Laurel and Hardy film, a feature film, not a short feature film. 1975, lunchtime, Christmas Day. Then what appeared to be an ongoing BBC tradition for a number of years, a program called Holiday on Ice. So if you think programs like Dancing on Ice now are quite popular, back in the 70s, this was a staple of Christmas Day television. There was some sort of ice dance spectacular, which was done. Top of the Pops, we mentioned Top of the Pops a minute ago. That was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where it always seems to be anyway. Her Majesty the Queen was at 3 o'clock. Then you got the Circus. Now, again, a lot of people may not know, but circuses were a staple part of Christmas Day television. And of course, now circuses are considered not correct. But yeah, the BBC and ITV would have a circus running against each other. Now, 1975, at 4 o'clock, The Wizard of Oz. Now, I know what people say, The Wizard of Oz is always on at Christmas. This was the very first time it was shown on British television.
No.
Yep, 1975, 36 years after it came out. Being screened today on British TV for the first time. Now, in America, Wizard of Oz gets shown every year, but it gets shown at Easter. So it's an Easter film over there rather than a Christmas film. Now, I think pretty much nowadays, most channels at Christmas, it's usually TCM and Channel 5 will show the Wizard of Oz. But America, it's an Easter film. Then you have Bruce Forsyth and the Generation Game. Some others do have them, which is Frank Spencer, if anybody remember those. The Morecambe and Wise Christmas Show. Then you had the world television premiere, right? Not British television premiere, network, world television premiere of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid at 8:45 in the evening. And then that was followed by The Good Old Days, which was an old-time variety program. And then Bob Hope in conversation with Michael Parkinson to finish your evening off.
Bit of parky.
So, it gives, most people sit down and think, well, that's a load of crap, and you wouldn't sit down and watch that. But that would bring in massive amounts of people sitting around watching the television on that day. And I just find it absolutely, a 36-year-old film getting its television premiere. Can you imagine that, nowadays?
How times have changed.
It is. It is.
Jim will fix it was on like my birthday, Christmas Day.
Suspicious. Did he fix it for you?
Thank God, no.
Yeah, that's half the problem.
Yes.
Ignore this. I mean, we all got beards. I didn't realise that. There we go. I don't be looking at you for half an hour or so. I didn't think about that. Remember the good old days when films took years to be shown on normal TV? Yep. Christmas was a time they used to premiere big TV films or streaming these days. With the advent of satellite and cable television, obviously that sort of moved on from there. So, where are we? Liam represented the ginger beard.
First thing that was on in the morning of my first Christmas was the Christmas raccoons.
Oh, God. That's a horrible way to start the day. What a horrible way to start the day.
Oh,
it's perfect for the raccoon boys, though.
amazing, yeah. It was meant to be.
Yeah. Ink Norther says all 3 channels in black and white. No, they weren't. We had colour in those days. Was there sound back then, or did you have to employ an organ player? You're not that much younger than me, Pedro. Don't you bloody start on that. Anyway, whatever happened to Emu? I thought he was the one with the talent.
It's buried with him.
Yeah, Frank Spencer is God tier. Yeah, I used to love watching Frank Spencer. Who better yet? It's a good impersonation, Stu. How long has Generation been going? Yeah. Year I was born, Dixon of Dock Green on BBC One. Have you heard of Dixon of Dock Green?
Never.
Old time police programme. Did they ever show football on Christmas Day? No, I don't think they did. It was usually on Boxing Day or New Year's Day, I think.
Yeah.
Remember being down my granddad's watching box football on New Year's Day.
Yeah, there were matches on Boxing Day.
Someone wanted to visit Ken Dodd's Jam Butty mines.
It's an interesting euphemism, isn't it?
Yeah, Raccoons was an awesome cartoon. No. Staple of British TV in the 50s, Dixon. It was. It was. I think they stopped making them in the early 70s because it was like painted an unrealistic picture of what British society was and how much it had changed. So the old image of the copper on the corner, the local policeman on the beat clipping the kids around the ear rolls for scrumping apples, they were still doing that in the early 70s, and it was just so far out of date, which is why they cancelled it, but it ran for so long. Anyway, our other guest has arrived, and here he is, the very wonderful Retro Games Revived.
Evening all.
Good evening.
I feel underdressed there. You're all very festive, and I'm sat here in just a black t-shirt.
Santa Sean's let us
I have
down.
got some on my legs, obviously, but
Yeah. the man with the nickname of Santa has turned up completely underdressed. He's come as Black Santa by the looks of it, I guess. How are you? Are you feeling better? Because obviously you've not been very well recently, so.
yes, I'm a lot better, mate, and yeah, my taste and smell starting to come back. That kebab I showed in WhatsApp group, I could taste it. I certainly could taste chili sauce, that's for sure. But
That is good.
It is good. It is good. So yeah, and that was the main thing that were bothering me. What taste issue? Give me headaches, aches, and all the rest of it. I'm not bothered about that. But losing my sense of taste and smell were horrendous.
Mate says, yeah, main Christmas show was Wogan featuring Freddie Starr. Shame he did. Oh, there we go. Let's provide some props. There we go.
Oh,
I've been head up with this, so.
And he's now, oh dear, he's destroying himself. Anyway.
that whole suit.
Oh, suit.
Got a few days left, John, before we got to put the suit on.
Even Sean's looking a bit beardy as well.
I'm part of
He is a bit, isn't he? Yeah. The five tangly beards. 5 tangly beards. Okay, sure. We've been talking. Obviously, I hope you've been listening.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. You got anybody else? What about any Christmas TV memories that you want to share with us at all before I move on to possibly the next subject?
Well, pretty much everything's really been covered. What I actually thought about. Only thing that I don't think's been mentioned because, well, it's funny actually when Nath mentioning raccoons. It just shows you how old I am. Because I thought that were a relatively modern thing.
We know that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I know they're all like Top Up Pops and Christmas Top Up Pops and that, but these lads may remember them. But what about old crooners, Ross? You know, Val Doonican's Christmas extravaganza and Jim Reeves' Christmas special. Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, you mentioned Val Doonican. I mean, how a man, an old Irish man in a cardigan and a rocking chair can capture the 16 million viewers each week, who were just sitting there singing old Irish folk songs. I've got absolutely no idea. But it's funny you mentioned. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because a few years back, the BBC Four showed something called Frank and Bing's Christmas special. Which was like a 30-minute program from 1950s, half asleep. I can't remember what it was, but it was just Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby singing Christmas carols linked together. It was just magical stuff.
Yeah.
Sermons for
proper Christmas songs.
I'm into that kind of thing now, so I'd be quite happy with that.
A couple of people making comments there. Steve says, "Is it normally a Peter Ustinov Poirot movie over Christmas?" Probably. It's either Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile. I think were the two that he did on the film version. There we go. Yeah, Stu's taken my advice and gone down the genome rabbit hole. So has Nate. So yeah, it's a good website that if you ever get a chance to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Racking my brain. Remember my favourite Christmas special as a kid, the Power Rangers Christmas special.
Is that the one where it snows at the end? Where they're talking about how it never snows in Angel Grove, and then at the end it snows. I'm sure I remember that. That's the only thing I remember about it. But
and Martin says, "Is that the one with Cat and Tommy set in the future?"
That's
I don't know. I've got no idea either.
No, I don't.
Which one was Cat? I think I'd stopped watching when Cat was in. I don't know what Cat is.
She ended up in EastEnders at some point, I think, running a market stall. Yeah, Charlie Brown's Christmas, again, very, very staple part of American television, shown every year without fail. I think because Apple have got the rights to Peanuts at the moment. It's on Apple TV this Christmas, not on American network TV, but very, very basic animation. I think it was the first Charlie Brown special they did, but again, the score for it, the music behind it, the ethos, absolutely brilliant. A bit of advice for you, Pete. Cat replaced Kimberly.
You could never replace Kimberly.
It's a conversation which none of us can have. I was very likely badly hungover for the Power Rangers Christmas special and Retro Red. Steve is here. Sorry, Pete. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was about to say, like the Charlie Brown's Christmas thing. It's like I used to have all the Peanuts books and I loved them, but I could never sit and watch the actual cartoons because of the just monotonous voice acting. It was awful. I just couldn't hold my attention.
No, Peanuts is good stuff. Remember CBBC doing kid shows on Christmas mornings? They did.
Yeah,
they did. I remember those growing up, but sometimes there wasn't such a thing as CBBC when I was younger. It was programs for children.
It'd be like Blue Peter, wouldn't it? Blue Peter special.
Blue Peter. Why don't you? I mean, why don't you? Please don't remember. Why don't you? It's horrible. Isn't the Star Wars Holiday Special the most famous of all Christmas specials for all the wrong reasons? I've never actually seen that. I've read so much about that over the years, but I've never actually seen it. Wasn't that a Halloween special?
No, it was a Christmas special.
Caravan of Courage. It was, I think, wasn't it?
No.
Courage, or was that something else?
That's an Ewoks film. There's two Ewoks films. And
the Christmas one is where it's either Luke or Han goes to Chewbacca's house for Christmas dinner.
That's the one.
And his wife and kids there.
Yeah. And apparently, because Disney own the rights, it's so bad. All they've done, that they've buried it. You can watch it on YouTube somewhere, I believe. But what they've done is some really crude animation in the Star Wars Christmas special, and they've taken all that and put it on Disney Plus, but they've hidden all the other stuff away because it's so bad. So they will never show it. So YouTube is your friend if you want to go across and have a look at that Star Wars Christmas special.
Did Chewie lose at Monopoly and just rip all their arms out of the sockets? So watch that.
Northern Gamer is here. Good evening to you. Wookiee Life Day.
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
I've actually been looking for sorry, when you talk about like Christmas specials, there's one that's in Sweden. They always watch a Donald Duck cartoon like every Christmas day, like religiously since it came out in, I think they're like the 50s or 60s. And I was trying to find out what it's called, but I can't find the name of it. But I kind of want to watch that this year.
As long as it's not De Fuhre's face, that'll be fine. Which was a 1943 propaganda film about Donald Duck being transported to Nazi Germany. I'm pretty sure they don't watch that one.
No.
There's also a famous one in Germany as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it starred a British old time music hall comedian. Can't remember the guy's name now, but for some reason it's been a staple on German television for years. And I think Sky Art showed it a couple of years back. And it's quite funny that the guy plays a butler, but he's people he works for, the lady he works for, sort of getting on a bit, and all the people who used to come for dinner at Christmas have died. So he has to impersonate all these people, keep walking out the room, coming in different costumes and things like that. It's very slapstick orientated, but it's quite funny if you ever get a chance to see it.
Dinner for One, I remember it.
That's it, Dinner for One.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
I've heard of that.
It's not bad actually. It's not bad.
It's quite funny, yeah.
Yeah. Lucasfilm pretty much tried to wipe Star Wars special off the face of the planet. They did. I think I learned about the Star Wars special from WrestleCrap website because they were talking about it one year as part of their Christmas induction. So, right, guys, let's move on and talk about. Is there anything that makes you turn television off at Christmas if you're for some reason watching it and there's something that will just make you, go and tidy the wrapping paper away or go and count the baubles on the Christmas tree? Is there something that will not, keep your attention? I'll go this way around. I'll get it around. Liam, go on.
The soaps. I cannot stand them. Like, it's just crap. Like you say, someone dies every Christmas or multiple people die. Like in real life, no one would live there because at least 20 or 30 people die every year in that same 10 house sort of little square of EastEnders or wherever, or there'd be in Coronation Street where the bloody tram comes through the pub or whatever. Every year something happens.
Wasn't it on Casualty as well where there was a plane crash or something?
So yeah, if we have to watch it's just so ridiculous, I mean, I know talking watching Marvel movies and all this sort of stuff where you've got superhumans flying around, but the amount of deaths in it is just ridiculous. And they're doing it purely for views. You don't who shot Phil Mitchell and all this, he's been shot so many times, it's ridiculous. But
he's been shot more times than they are.
Yeah, I just can't stand him. That's the first thing I'd turn off. But luckily now, like you say, with catch up telly, I don't even have to bother. I don't have to sit through it.
I agree. I mean, the fact you have to have 2 episodes of EastEnders on Christmas Day, one's bad enough. What do we need 2? It's a ratings ploy, isn't it? It just get people to keep watching the channel for the rest of the day. Whether they still do it or not, I don't. I've not watched EastEnders for years, so I mean, it's not my sort of thing for Christmas. What about you, Pete?
Because the house prices would be so low there. People would be like.
Yeah, but would you want to live there? Mass murderers and plane crashes and people being shot.
Yeah, but not every day.
And, hordes of orange made-up ladies lurking through the marketplace. You don't want to be stuck with that, do you? Really? Pete, what about you? I mean, again, if you are,
well, nowadays, the general the routine on a Christmas day is that after Christmas dinner we stick diode on and go to sleep. So I still don't watch much Christmas TV, but I guess the soaps would be for me as well, just because I just don't agree with them fundamentally, bringing so much like depression and that kind of thing onto Christmas Day. I just don't think there's a place for it.
Mm.
Look at Paul calling me out.
Sadly, the news in London ain't far off the soap these days. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Nate says, turns the soaps too. Once and grown ups, we didn't have a choice. Now it's my house, my rules. That's always good, isn't it? I agree with that. One year, one of the shows was shocked us by having a normal Christmas. Yeah, I think that's always the joke. They would say, is it a normal Christmas in Albert Square this year? To which point they say, I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't know.
It doesn't have to be a normal one, just a nice one.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bit of Christmas cheer here and there.
A smiley, happy one.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen in EastEnders.
But the thing is, you probably have to put something like that on to balance out all the joy and the happiness of Christmas by actually showing what Christmas is like on your side of the coin. I don't know.
You don't need to show that, though. That's the thing. You don't need to balance it out. Christmas is about joy and happiness.
I don't need to see pictures of emaciated animals during daytime television, but they keep showing them, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I'm sitting there watching Ohms Under the Hammer, and all of a sudden I've got 3 minutes of dead donkeys being thrust in my face. I don't want to see that.
That's not for entertainment purposes, though.
I turn them straight off. I can't stand it anymore. What about you, Sean? Anything that makes you reach for the Christmas?
I was going to say soaps. Like the
say something different, please.
Well, I'm going to do because. Well, I'd say the thing I hate about Christmas TV is films that say people have taken them as Christmas films and they're not. Tired, Gremlins Home Alone.
I can't. Sean, we're losing you. I can't hear you. You're frozen, mate. You're not coming through.
He's basically saying
think
Christmas
Home Alone.
film.
You don't think Home Alone's a Christmas film?
No, it's not about Christmas. It's set at Christmas. It's about some stupid little kid that messes about, don't get on plane to go on holiday, and then has burglars trying to kill him or whatever.
What about It's a Wonderful Life? It's just about some bloke trying to commit suicide.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah.
I think Sean should do the blurb for the back of the DVD boxes. It'd be ideal.
What about Gremlins then, Sean?
Gremlins is definitely
It's set at Christmas. It's not about Christmas.
Well, generally, Christmas films are set at Christmas.
Yeah.
If they were set at Easter, they wouldn't be Christmas films.
A Christmas film would be about Santa and elves and Christmas.
The baby Jesus and all that sort of stuff.
I'm kind of losing it here.
I'm just going to try and dig you out the hole by changing the subject.
Bad Santa's a Christmas film by virtue.
I want to talk Christmas films a bit. I want to talk Christmas films a bit later. We can have that argument there, and then we can all unsubscribe to Sean afterwards. All right. So do nice Christmas ones might have been EastEnders. I doubt that would have been the case. Claire says call the midwife. Yeah, that's a real channel changer in our house. Good evening, John. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you joining us for this Christmas television chat. Emaciated animals. That's loose women. Yeah, that's probably not far off. This year, Phil Mitchell invites Cat for a lovely Christmas dinner, and Ian Beale visits his mum to play Connect 4. I think I prefer one of them die playing Connect 4. One of them will die playing Connect 4. Yeah. That's it. There'll be a nasty counter accident.
Maybe it's Cluedo. Maybe I can play Cluedo after and figure out.
Somebody probably would die playing Monopoly.
Monopoly, yes.
That's Monopoly rather than murder.
That's why there's 2 episodes on Christmas Day. One 5 hours before when they started playing the game, and then 5 hours later they're still playing the game. There's heated arguments and people being stabbed with miniature dogs and cars and things like that. So you can't beat Rising Damp. Then the Rossiter, yep.
Oh, aye.
So another classic there. Never seen an episode of Rising Damp. Have you not?
What? Come on, Steve.
The classic.
Die Hard is a Christmas film. Gremlins and Home Alone are you grumpy old man.
I know we pipe up.
You've lost 10 subscribers, but you gained a friend. Susie said Sean is your best friend. Lethal Weapon is a Christmas film. Oh, God.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
No, it's not. Good evening, Joe. Joe Gaming Girl is here. Hi, Joe. Nice to see you
Joel.
in the house.
Johnson as well.
See what
John
else we
Retrick.
get. Yeah, I've just did I mention John? I did, didn't I? Yeah, earlier. There he is. John, Merry Christmas. Good to see you again, mate. And yeah, there we go. There he is. Good to see him there. I think Steve also. Sorry, I think Steve Retro Red Steve mentioned old classics like Steptoe on the buses for Christmas specials. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff I will watch. I know a lot of it's horribly outdated, but I will watch stuff like that quite happily. I will watch. Mrs. Bear won't. So it's just things I have to watch on my own. What about you, Nathan? Anything that changes your channel quickly at Christmas?
Oh,
Is there anything left apart from soap operas and Die Hard?
I'll Die Hard. I totally watch at Christmas. Like, it's in the Christmas spirit, doesn't it? Nothing like shooting terrorists for Christmas spirit.
Always puts me in the mood.
Just forced stuff I don't like. I mentioned Top of the Pops coming back. That's been awful the last few years. It's not Christmassy at all. I mean, like, the last few years I've been singing about sausage rolls. I mean, for crying out loud. I know it's for charity. I'm going to be there. I was going to say, oh, it's for charity, but I put some effort in, seriously. So stuff like that really bothers me. Middle of the day stuff, there's just nothing on at Christmas, which is quite good. I think other than the Queen, you've got nothing really on. It's only in the evening and stuff comes in. There are some Christmas things they do when you have kids, like they always do like a room on the broom thing, which I don't mind actually, things like that. But I don't necessarily turn it off. I just don't have it on in the middle of the day because there's just not a lot to watch.
Does anybody watch the Queen speech at Christmas?
I try to.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Just see what she's got to say. I mean, one day she might say something completely controversial, but she doesn't.
Say out different every year.
She's going to do a rap.
Same shit.
He's going to do a rap. Well, Channel 4 did that last year. They didn't they do an augmented reality one with the Queen? Yeah, and they got a lot
She's doing a duet with Ed Sheeran this year.
Oh God!
Taking over the world.
It's it's been around forever, hasn't it? I mean, it's the thing is that they leak it before, and she films it weeks before, and they leak it a few days. And they say, "Oh, the Queen has mentioned this in a Christmas speech this year." And think, well, that sort of takes the fun out of watching it. I suppose there's a lot of fun watching it. Yeah,
I was going to say, is there a lot of fun watching it?
Sitting there, criticising her interior design. Oh, look at the gold leaf on that, But just showing off, isn't she?
Do you know who did best Christmas speech? Ali G.
Huh? Ali, yes, Channel 4's alternative, yeah.
Yeah, that one is.
I forgot that.
What else we got in the chats? Wrapping presents as we're listening to this. That's okay.
I hope he's got his Christmas music on as well.
I should hope so. Did the young ones do a Christmas special? I don't think they did, Steve. I think it was they wouldn't want to do a Christmas special anyway. They were anarchic, weren't they? That was the old fighting back into things like proper old time Christmas specials. They had never done one like that. I wouldn't have thought. Eddie's awake. Morning, Edward. Hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, I mean for Christmas turn-offs for me, call the midwife certainly. Anything drama related. I don't really want to watch a drama. I want something light-hearted at Christmas. And I don't like Mrs. Brown's Boys for me is the biggest turn-off going. I don't understand how popular that program is at all. I don't know if anybody
loves it.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people. My dad loves it. That's like, for God's sake,
Yeah, you got a Christmas speech, Bear. I'll tune in for that.
Am I going to do a Christmas speech now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. Live stream in the middle, live stream it over the top of the Queen. I'd watch it.
You need a carriage clock, and I think that's just about it. You've got everything else there you need.
I can barely hold this stream together, let alone do a live stream for 10 minutes. Royal Family Christmas specials when they go to daughter's dinner, dinner, and David's in the bath with the turkey. That doesn't. What time did that go out? Doesn't sound like. Claire loves a nice period drama.
Ooh.
That's unusual. I don't think we've ever watched a nice Christmas period drama or something there. Nate likes Mrs. Brown's Boys. Okay. Well, I'd love. People have got their own opinions on it. People who do like it. It's not for me. I'm afraid. I just don't think it's very funny at all. But that's down to me. Some people don't think I'm very funny at all, which is their opinion. So
Scandalous.
yeah, don't know about the young ones, but did the old ones like Retro Bear and Retro Games Revive do a Christmas special? Yes, you're watching it.
Yeah.
You're watching it.
It's Sunday night, isn't
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me! So yeah, I mean things like that. Yeah, so right, I'm moving on quickly. Go on, what you say? No.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk films at Christmas then on TV. I know because you can't get around about Christmas television without talking about films. What did you watch the big premieres back then, or did you just look for TV schedules to find films that you enjoy watching at Christmas? We're sport for choice now with satellite because obviously they have a designated Christmas film channel and all this, and you got the Hallmark channel which shows non-stop wall-to-wall made-for-television, god-awfully badly acted, written, scripted films that seem to go on forever and tell exactly the same story and exactly the same people acting in them. They've got different names. Anybody want to kick us off with this one? No. Okay. So I keep asking that question every single time. I don't think anybody responds. I'm doing a podcast.
We've all frozen. For me, it was like it's not even just the Christmas movies, is it? Because like they used to play like James Bond and all sorts.
They did, yeah.
I know that like for me, I used to watch that most Sundays. And my dad would watch the Formula One, and then there'd be a Bond movie on. So I'd watch the Bond movie. But the only sort of Christmas movie I really look forward to is The Muppets Christmas Carol. Because it's the only one I could probably sit and watch a lot and not really get bored of it. Maybe Elf as well, but there's not many I could watch. Over and over and over. But I think it's probably from working in the shop. I'm just too Christmased out. All I hear all day is Christmas songs.
Nonsense. I work in a shop. I absolutely love it.
I'm oversaturated. I'm not that happy.
No.
I half work in a shop and I absolutely hate it as well. So I don't know what it is. Eddie says, "What about the Bewitched Christmas special when they blacked up?" That'll be interesting.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Bean Christmas is always funny. Gordon is here. Good evening, Gordon. Has anyone seen the Big Game Owl Christmas special where he tries to get back for Christmas after breaking down on the M1? I'm interested in this year's Christmas.
He's on a cruise, isn't he? So maybe the ship will break down.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for this year's Big Game Owl Christmas special where he has to spend 12 days in quarantine after getting back from his cruise.
Yeah.
He's not allowed back in the country. Slowly but surely going mad in a hotel room somewhere. That would make it really good. Paul's chucked out some films for us. Die Hard, Gremlins, Lethal Weapon, Home Alone, Elf, It's a Wonderful Life, Bad Santa, Muppet Scrooge, Santa Claus Movie, Trading Places, and Lampoon's All Christmas Musts.
Yeah, the Lampoons or Home Alone 2, that bit where he touches the tap and he turns into like a skeleton. I laugh at that every year. As soon as that bit's coming on, my wife will look over at me and sort of, she knows I'm going to burst out laughing.
Nightmare Before Christmas as well. I love that.
Yeah, she's obsessed.
Yeah. Good choice.
Hang on, Sean. Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas film.
No, it's Halloween, isn't it?
I'm going to say.
Christmas film.
It's Halloween town.
Trading Places is an interesting one because I don't associate Trading Places being a Christmas film.
No, I wouldn't either.
So
I think there's only 3 off that list. I'd agree with Bad Santa. That's a
Oh God, here we go. Only 3.
Santa Claus the movie because it's a Christmas film. It's about Santa and National Lampoon's Christmas.
What about
and Elf?
Oh, Elf. Oh, sorry, yeah,
Elf.
I missed that there. Yeah, Elf.
Who's an elf?
Die Hard, Gremlins, Lethal Weapon.
Who asked him to come on?
Christmas films.
Who asked him to come on? Didn't you?
Wait, is he not Santa Claus the movie? Have you included that, Sean?
Yes, yeah, that's definitely a Christmas film.
What about Scrooge?
Wonderful Life?
Scrooge?
It's literally a
Scrooge.
Christmas Carol.
What about Chrissy Christmas's Christmas film? Is that a Christmas film?
What about Ernest Saves Christmas?
As opposed to Ernest Save Halloween. Yeah.
As a kid, I actually did not associate Home Alone with Christmas at all because my mum was a childminder and she had one kid that she looked after part-time who was obsessed with Home Alone. And every time it came, he'd bring Home Alone on video, would end up watching it. It didn't matter what time of year it was. So for a long time as a kid, I just didn't think Home Alone was a Christmas film just because we'd watch it all year round.
Yeah.
Dylan mentions Dan Aykroyd dress up as a drunk Santa. He did, yes, he did in Trading Places, but I've never seen that as a Christmas film.
They did, didn't
I want to put it down. It is part of it, but such a small part of it, isn't it? It's not a massive section of the film. They hold that Christmas party at the office, and that's how he gets into the office.
Count it or not? Does Sean count it?
No, it's not
Trading
a Christmas
Places.
film. Trading Places.
This is an interesting one. Does Life of Brian count as a Christmas film? Oh, that's interesting.
That's a good one, isn't
That's
it?
a good question because it does start with a nativity scene, doesn't it? If anybody remembers of Life of Brian, it does start with a nativity scene at the beginning with the three kings.
It's Life of Brian, though, not Birthday of Brian.
It's I don't know. It's got Christmas in it. Have you put in Trading Places in that? You could.
Yeah.
You're moving on the Passion of the Christ or something next, weren't you?
That's Easter, though, isn't it? Is that Easter?
Well,
I know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
See,
Shows
it's
how much we know, doesn't it?
I know you mentioned Wizard of Oz earlier, Russ. I mean, it's not a Christmas film.
It's not a Christmas
like
film.
I said, it were always shown at Christmas every single year. So, it kind of become a Christmas film, but not a Christmas film.
But the thing is, it's whether you class Christmas films as, because you said Wizard of Oz is a very good example. Same thing people would probably bracket, as they always do, The Sound of Music and The Great Escape, and because they're always on at Christmas, but they're not Christmas films. They weren't made about Christmas, were they? The Sound of Music was not made about Christmas. It was made about family escaping the Nazis.
Yeah.
The Great Escape wasn't made about Christmas. It was made about a load of people trying to escape from the Nazis.
What's more Christmassy than that?
Yeah.
It's the game that we always play on Christmas Day.
Yeah, Home Alone 27, where he tries to escape the Nazis.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan, where they've got to escape Nazis.
Yeah. So there's a film about being associated with Christmas, and there's associated with actually being a Christmas film as a Christmas film, or not as a Christmas film, in your case.
The Matrix is a Christmas film.
The Matrix. I did see John's comment. There we go. The Matrix. It's not a Christmas film, but I always host The Matrix for Christmas. I would rewatch it each year while present wrapping, along with the Final Fantasy VII Advent and the Daft Punk film. Okay.
Didn't know there was a Daft Punk film.
I didn't know either. It's good, isn't it? We're all learning something tonight. So it's that association. It's that conception that these films you grew up watching on television at Christmas will be part of your Christmas viewing or associated with Christmas afterwards. So it's slightly different. Paul says Scrooge is literally a retelling of the Christmas Carol, which it is. There's no argument that Batman's Return is a Christmas film. Yes. I don't agree with that. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Completely start to finish, set at Christmas, set at multiple Christmases because it starts up as a flashback. It's completely at Christmas.
Yep.
There's a big Christmas tree. There is a massive Christmas tree. It's like the centerpiece of the city, like the city center thing, the town hall.
Yep. Batman fighting the Nazis.
Yeah. Batman has to escape from the Nazis.
Yeah. That old chestnut.
I think Paul's on to something here. I think we found a new stream. We just asked Sean if any film is a Christmas film. I think it's brilliant. Martin says, what about Debbie Does Christmas? Well, if you go back to the film stream we did, Martin, the other night, I typed that in there and everybody ignored that as well, so that's all right. But that was probably one they didn't make, isn't it? Life of Brian can't count. He's not the Messiah. Yeah, but Paul sort of slightly agrees and slightly disagrees. You could make an argument to be a Christmas film, but it's a bit of a stretch. I don't know. Escape to Victory was another one that was always in at Christmas. That was Sylvester. Yeah. That was, ironically, Sylvester Stallone and a load of footballers trying to escape the Nazis.
That's it.
There's a bit of a theme here. There's a bit of a theme developing. The only bit that's Christmassy in Great Escape is when they sing a Christmas song. No, I didn't know that. I have seen it a couple of times, but I didn't know. So, well, perhaps by loose association, Joe might be onto something there. It is a Christmas film.
Is it in German, the song?
9. I've got no idea.
Are they singing in unison to drown out the sounds of them tunneling? Is it one of those?
It could be. Yeah. Yes, it could well be. I'm thinking about that. Yeah. Because I can't
remember it.
Yeah, it's been a ages since I've seen that.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those classic films. Well, so we were talking about Christmas films on television. I just like looking for Christmas films on Christmas for TV means years and years ago you used to see series of films about certain stars or genres. So you always guarantee that BBC Two would like to do something like a Laurel and Hardy season, which used to appeal to me because I used to love that stuff when I was growing up. I grew up watching all those. And then you'd find they do like a Fred Astaire season. So they show a series of Fred Astaire musicals. So for me, when I look at films on TV at Christmas, I don't tend to look for the big films. You do anyway because they're littered everywhere, and you might have missed one in the cinema, especially nowadays because films get released not in the cinema, they get released on streaming services. They get limited release, so they go straight to the video. You'll come across something. But for me, looking back then, it was always trying to find, what are BBC Two or Channel 4 doing this year? They've got a series of Marx Brothers films, and great, I'll record all those and watch them back. So for me, that's what Christmas films on television for me means.
Yeah, I always remember like the Radio Times and TV Times, releasing their Christmas editions. And it's funny because, there were a lot of confirmed programs, but there were also many, many TBCs to be confirmed. I always remember that and being excited about that, thinking, well, what could it be? What film could it be?
Did you circle all the TBCs just in case?
I must be honest. I fell for that one year because I think it was the first time I started doing it. All of a sudden, the newspapers, about 2 weeks before the BBC released the Radio Times and TV Times came out, they said, "Oh, we got the TV schedules for you in this week's newspaper. Great, go out and buy it." And as Sean said, it's like, they got Christmas Day sorted out and Boxing Day sorted out, and everything else was like TBC. It's like, what the hell's this program? Well, they're planning on showing nothing this Christmas. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
So what's on this Christmas, Mr. Bear? As you have,
do you want to know
the Christmas Bible? That is.
Shall we spoil it for everybody and tell me what's on Christmas?
Oh, get it planned in early because I haven't checked.
Would you want to know what's on Christmas Day?
Well, generally, yeah.
I did joke. I said if this stream didn't go according to plan, it's going to just be me sitting here reading out and listening to the Radio Times. So guess what? We've actually reached the bottom of the barrel. We are there. We're there already.
I'm really
Okay. Well, so Christmas Day, BBC One, Shaun the Sheep, The Flight Before Christmas.
Relative of yours.
The Secret Life of Pets 2. Mary Poppins Returns. That's their big Christmas premiere this year, which is just after the Queen.
That's good. That
is that the remake?
Yeah, that's the one that came out.
The new one.
It's a sequel, isn't it?
Whoa.
I've seen that.
God, it's 3 years ago, that film. I've seen like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. There's only one episode of EastEnders this year, but it is a double-length episode. Michael McIntyre's Christmas Wheel, Call the Midwife, Mrs. Brown's Boys. God. There is a repeat of the Vicar of Dibley. Anybody's interested? Morecambe and Wise Christmas Show. We talked about that earlier, 1971, which is probably the best one of the lot. It's got Andre Previn, Glenda Jackson, and Shirley Bassey. If you've never seen that, watch it. It's brilliant. Probably the best one they ever did. There's a Pavarotti special on BBC Two. Lots of Pavarotti on BBC Two Christmas Day night. If you really want to get to bed early and knock off and think you've had enough for the day, that'll be it. See, BBC Two showing Meet Me in St. Louis, which is a Julie Garland film from years ago. ITV is showing Santa Claus the movie on Christmas Day, opposite Mary Poppins Returns. So that's going to get slaughtered in the ratings, isn't it? They don't really care what it looks like. Home Alone 2, Christmas Day, Channel 4. White Christmas, Channel 5. So really, it's a load of rubbish.
No Die Hard.
Save some electricity and don't bother.
Die Hard's got to be on somewhere.
Any Nazis or?
I don't. Were there any Nazis in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? In which case, we might have a Nazi-less Christmas Day, which would be quite interesting.
They'll be in the Queen's Christmas speech. There'll be one in the background, just dancing like Bez at the Happy Mondays, just dancing with some maracas, and then.
That I'll tune in for.
Is Sound of Music not on? Sound of Music's always on. That's full of Nazis.
Gotta be on.
Is what?
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
I was trying to find the listings for Sky. I was trying to find the listings for Sky One, but they appear to have taken them off.
If you start watching it now, it might be done by next Christmas.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
It's awful. My sister used to make me watch it every year, and it's just terrible. And it lasts for about 6 weeks.
It's like when my missus says, "Oh, we need to watch the Titanic," and I'm like, "Oh, we know what happens. It sinks." End of.
It sinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah. It's not a surprise, is it? Really? You know.
Yeah.
It's a giant
Spoilers.
Spoilers
in case anyone's not watched it.
Just takes 12 hours to get there. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John says, "Remember blockbuster films were released on TV's Christmas events back when we were kids? Yet they were. It used to be years and years ago. It's been an old 5-year rule where they couldn't show anything that was made within the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, wasn't it?
That was it. And
yeah.
I was going through all this stuff I was talking about, research I was doing beforehand. BBC paid an extortionate amount of money in 1978 to secure the first 10 viewings of The Sound of Music on British television.
And it's still going now?
Yeah, it's still going now. You have sing-along Sound of Music now. Retro Steve, we were watching Shaun the Sheep.
It's still on.
Mary Poppins. Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah.
Poppins.
Joe's up. It is the 12 Days of Christmas they sing in The Great Escape. So it's definitely a Christmas film by that. I'm pretty sure of it. Paul said he can't watch a film on any channel with adverts. It's the one into it's when you get into the middle of an exciting film and ITV breaks away for news at 10 o'clock. And that's not a new thing. They've been doing that for years. Again, I found that in the previous listing back in the 70s. They were showing a big film on the Christmas Day night and they broke off the news at 10 o'clock.
It always used to bother me when we'd tape a film off the TV and halfway through I had to watch the news.
Or if it's on a Sunday afternoon and it's just showing you little adverts about planning your funeral or the stairlifts.
No Queen speeches. I've just given you the edited highlights, Nate. She's on at 3 o'clock across all the channels as always. Griffo's here. Enjoyed your stream last night, Alex. Good to see you. Is Toy Story? And it probably is, but I'm not going to sit here and go through the entire Radio Times. I'd still be here tomorrow, to be fair. Best part of the Titanic is with the guy who bounces off the propeller.
Yes, it's the only bit I remember.
I thought you'd say it was like paint me like one of your French girls. I thought that'd be one of the better bits, I suppose.
Yeah, he dropped the 3 when Sky came about a Sky exclusive rights. Yeah, because there's this thing about television premiere, and then you have things like network television premiere now, which is completely different. Back then, of course, it was like worldwide premiere or first time ever on British television, but you don't, because everything's on Sky or satellite first. You don't get that now. And of course, with films being simultaneously released on streaming services and cinema, you're not quite sure what's a stream and what isn't a stream. Pirate Bay gets rid of the adverts, says Eddie Rollercore. If anybody's interested in tracking him down and finding out he watches his film for Christmas, that's where you'll find him.
Not always, actually, because I was trying to watch Spider-Man last night illegally, and it had a big advert for slot machines just in the middle of the screen all the way through
What else? Owl's being painted like a French girl as we speak.
I
Well,
think if
there we
his
go.
ship's called the Titanic, he needs to get off it.
I gotta
Now.
say, with his track record at the minute, I don't think I would have got on a boat if I were him.
Yeah. So they have icebergs in the Caribbean.
Put me off my Christmas dinner, that.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Jesus.
Now you've still got 8 days to go. Yeah. There's a YouTube channel called Too Old to Grow Up that goes through the Christmas radio TV times. Ooh.
Ooh.
There we go. So I've already given you the genome
to grow up.
project. Yeah. Sounds a bit like you and me, Sean, to be fair. If anybody's joined us late, I did mention the website earlier, which is really interesting. I'll say it again because quite a few people popped on there and found it quite useful. Called the BBC Genome Project. Genome spelled Genome. And it lists all the Radio Times. You can go through all the Radio Times editions right the way back to the very start, 1927. Listings for all television programs and radio programs. It's great to find out what was on the TV, when you were born, when you were younger at Christmas. They're all on there. Go and have a look at that. It's really, really good. I'm definitely going to check out that channel Steve's recommended there as well. So thank you for that, Steve. That'll give me something to do over the weekend. I'll have something else to annoy Mrs. Bear with, but there we go.
I'm just looking at the one from 1988, and the Christmas Raccoons is the first thing that's on BBC One on the year I was born.
Is that the same year you were born, Nate?
No, it's not the same year.
So it was
I'm the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Raccoons, the Nativity Playbus, the Pink Panther, Charlie's Christmas Product.
See, that's showing my age, the cartoon of the film.
That would have been a cartoon at that time in the morning, I would have thought.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Russ and Sean, too, way to go. Pete, you mentioned a program before we started that you wanted to mention.
Oh yeah, Flint Street Nativity. It was something that was like a Christmas staple at our house, and it was like a TV movie about like a bunch of kids doing a nativity play, but the kids were all played by because it was like back in the 90s. It was all like comedians and actors at the time. Like there was like Frank Skinner, Ralph Little, Jane Horrocks. Can't remember what she's called. The woman from Whose Line Is It Anyway? She was in it. And it was really good.
Josie Lawrence.
Josie Lawrence, that's the one.
Yeah.
She used to live about 2 miles from here. She was born around here.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, really good. It's just like a little TV movie, and Neil Morrissey's in it as well. He's brilliant in it. Yeah, but it's just like like oversized sets and stuff like that. It's like all physical sets and stuff, and they're all playing kids, so it's just hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's like tear jerking as well. But that's something we managed to track down a DVD copy of that, and it's something we still watch to this day, and it's really good. Anyone who's not seen the Flint Street Nativity really needs to give it a watch because it's amazing. Yeah,
Nate remembers it as well. I missed it when it was on. I think my parents watched it and they said how good it was.
Yeah.
But I also remember at the same time ITV started doing a pantomime as well. It was just called the ITV Christmas Pantomime, which is probably 3 of the scariest words ever put together in the English language. But they were quite good. They were actually quite good. But I remember that at the time. Yeah,
Frank Skinner's amazing in it because he's like he plays a kid who's like football obsessed, and all he does is the way he talks and everything. It's just constant. It's like talking like a football commentator, or he'll sit and play it like a question of sport, and he'll sit there and do like the whole show. Like he'll be Ali McCoy's one bit, and then he'll be whoever. But there's just one bit where he's like walking up he plays like a wise man in the still play, and he's like walking up the stairs, and he's like stepping on his robe all the way up. So he's like gradually sort of getting shorter and shorter. And then he like gets to the top, and he's like. He just stops and goes, "He's in trouble now, Des." Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, anyone who's it might not be Des. I don't know, Des Lynam was just the first.
No, that's probably what it would have been. Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyone who's not seen that, I really, if you love like British comedy, I honestly recommend you watch it because it's amazing. It really is.
Just tell us what it is again for those who
it's the Flint Street Nativity.
On YouTube,
Flint
apparently.
Street Nativity.
Oh, right, all onto YouTube afterwards then.
How long is it? Is it about an hour?
We're on YouTube
Yeah,
already.
it'll be about that. Yeah.
What's it
What
after
else?
the stream?
Yeah, well, after the stream, please. Yeah, we're still going to keep it a little bit longer. I told people to go and do other stuff twice during this, and people are still watching, so that's all right. Quick question for you, Pete. I'm not doing gaming tonight, but I'll just ask a question. Are you getting the new Tate Astro City Mini?
Well, I am now, aren't I? Thanks, Eddie.
Dylan says, of course he is. I'm hyped for it myself. There we go.
I wasn't aware of it, but now I am.
Dylan says you're getting Eddie, and he said, yes, it's a yes from me. Right, that's the end of tonight's gaming talk. We're not talking games tonight. Griffo, we talked about this earlier as well before you came in, Alex. But yeah, I think it's pretty much agreed that the bottom Christmas special is very much a must.
Definitely.
Part of the
That's
schedule.
one of the best ones, is that?
It is.
Christmas
Ross is here. Top Gear Christmas specials. Yep, I agree with that. The Grand Tour Christmas, or the Grand Tour episode for Christmas dropped today. It's not quite as good as they usually do. It depends how you feel about things like that. But there we go.
Jeremy Clarkson, walk off into the sea.
The Royal Institute Christmas lectures. Yes. Does anybody watched any of those at all over the years?
The what?
The what? It's only been a staple of Christmas television for about 50 years.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it?
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Why
You
would
never-
anybody watch that?
Because it's interesting. Now,
No.
it's basically science for stupid people. So I'm surprised none of us have watched it. They do a special subject every year. I think years and years ago when it was on, they just used to do one program. But I think now it's done over 2 or 3 nights. Filmed at the Royal Institute in London, and they get a scientist or somebody like that in to talk about a subject in front of an audience of children, and they do experiments and they teach them about science. It's honestly it's quite interesting. And I think it now alternates between BBC 4 and Channel 5. It runs across a few nights. But you've never seen it before, go and check it out. We find them quite fun. So
I've got a question for everybody.
oh really?
Which is,
dreading
which is
this.
your
No.
favourite?
No, it's not.
No, it's a good question. This. Which is your favourite Christmas carol? But before you answer, mate,
Vorderman.
did you know?
Muppets.
Yeah, are we talking song or are we talking adaptation of the story?
The adaptation, yeah.
Kirkwood.
Well, did you know Ross Kemp actually did a version?
Yeah, I did.
Carol? Can you remember it? He played
I've seen it.
like a debt collector.
Did he get the hell out of there at some point?
Yeah, on gang. A gang of Nazis.
Then, Sean, or was it just set at Christmas?
Yeah.
Was Ross Kemp in it? Are there any gangs in it?
I can't remember
any
it
terrorists?
fully,
Nakatomi.
no terrorists, just a debt collector. I think he was a debt collector or something.
I don't remember that at all, Sean.
And he, I've had to Google it just to refresh my memory. Just a second.
Was it refresh your memory, or to
It
put yourself
wasn't a
you hadn't
dream.
imagined it?
2000.
It's a
2000
cheese dream.
It was released.
It's a cheese dream.
Here it is.
Hang on.
Pick it up.
Hang on, I'll give you a big screen. Hang on, where are you?
I was going to say, how good do you think our eyes are?
Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol starring Ross Kemp.
Why is he in a leather jacket?
Because
Grant
Ireland
Mitchell
wear
does
leather
Christmas.
jackets, don't they? Gangsters wear leather jackets and that.
It's not cow leather. He's just skinned one of his enemies and just made it into a coat.
That was Tiny Tim. I'm joking.
That'd be a scarf then, a leather scarf. Is that well?
He just
Thy
made a
Neighbour
wallet.
Christmas special.
I don't mind the Disney Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey one they brought out a few years ago.
That-
I'm probably on my
Yeah,
My
they're-
favourite.
They're the main ones. If it's not the Muppets, it's the Jim Carrey one because I do like that one. But I do like the old black and white. I like how dark it is.
Yeah. What's his name?
It's Bill Murray all the way for me.
Are we thinking, in terms of black and white, are we thinking of the Alistair Sim one, are we?
That's it. Alistair Sims. Yeah. Yeah.
That one was really good.
The
It's
one
one that I don't
with Stuart Picard of Star Trek. He did one. didn't he?
Patrick Stewart,
That's
That's
it,
it,
yeah.
Yeah, he did do one, didn't
Yeah.
set in space.
one that we've got, which not a lot of people seem to know exists, is we bought Santa Claus the movie, but it came in a double pack, and it's a musical one with Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 90s? Was it? I remember seeing it.
I have never watched it.
It's not very good.
Scrooged is always the one for me. We watch it.
I think I watched it at school. The Kelsey Grammer one.
If it's got Frasier in it, can't be bad. Come on.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Down Periscope?
Any of the X-Men films?
That's not a euphemism. No, it's a film. I did go to the cinema to pay money to watch, on the basis he was in Frasier. Paul has watched the the Christmas lectures at the Royal Institute we were talking about a moment ago. Thank you for saying that, Paul, because I was beginning to think we were talking about stuff we weren't talking about there because no one seemed to know. Just remember, this is the worst time of year if you live in the East End, as someone is bound to be killed off.
Yeah.
There we go. Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol is great.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's our lass's favourite, actually, Mickey Mouse.
Didn't know that one existed.
Yeah.
It's been around for years, that one, I think.
Yeah, it has.
It's where they have to escape from the Nazis, if you remember. Nate asks us, what TV show would you like to see a Christmas special of? That's an interesting one.
Naked Attraction. Where will he hang his body?
24.
24
Christmas special.
Yeah. So it would have to be a full series, wouldn't it? Because
yeah, so that'll finish sometime in June, then I guess. Anybody got anything? I can't try to think. And
we don't watch TV anymore. It's been about 10 years since we watched TV, proper telly. We watch DVDs or YouTube. Yeah, that's all it is now.
It's a Christmas special we want. Back in the 90s.
I agree.
Talking science.
I will watch lectures if it's Russell doing it.
Yeah.
You'll learn nothing.
After his speech.
You'll learn nothing. There'll be a giant fire at some point. I'm pretty sure of it. Scrooge McDuck as Scrooge is awesome. That's a Mickey's Christmas Carol. Yeah, I think you'll find that Scrooge McDuck was actually typecast in that film. Yeah. Or it was a genius piece of casting. In answer to that, maybe an In-Betweeners, but the movies weren't really that great. I don't know. I thought they were really good. I remember watching the first one. I had a really bad chest infection the first In-Betweeners film. I had to sit there and smile all the way through because I couldn't laugh because every time I laughed, I was in absolute agony. So, yeah. It's a good idea to watch it years later. I'd have a good laugh at it. Red Dwarf, Jim mentions Red Dwarf. That'd be a Christmas special. That'd been a good one.
We'd have a brass eye Christmas special. That'd be good.
Brass eye Christmas special.
Or jam.
Yeah.
For those dark
Channel 4 News Christmas special. That'd be quite good. 12 naked people of Christmas. It depends which 12 naked people you're asking about, Martin. Just random people they're taking off the streets, or are we got a short list or something like that?
Nigella, number one. So Mark can run out of toilet roll.
Wasn't too keen on the In-Betweeners films. The dance scene is awesome. Yeah, it is. That's for the funniest bits in that film. The Big Game Al Christmas special, Al Cooks Dinner.
Is there a microwave big enough for a turkey?
Right. So, anybody got anything else they want to bring up about Christmas television?
Has anybody
I've
watched
gone
any
through all
Christmas
the
specials
things I
this
want to
year?
ask.
Haven't. No.
Not yet. No.
I've watched
the Gadget Show, but that was it.
Out of absolute coincidence, just because we've started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again. The Christmas special of that was on like 2 days ago, but that's just because we're watching through and it was just coincidentally on.
Amazing program, that really, really funny.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one I can always watch.
Shame it's finished now, but I think it's run its course. But I mean,
yeah, I find with stuff like that when there's like a will they won't they thing, I find it always runs its course when they inevitably the two characters get together.
Yeah, you've run out the storyline, and where'd you go after that?
But no, I could always rewatch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's just one of them things.
Paul's here. Good evening, Paul. Always watch the James Bond at Christmas.
Oh,
Any Bond fans here tonight?
Yeah.
old Bond films, yeah. I've not so much the newer ones, but definitely like Sean Connery and Roger Moore up to, I suppose, Pierce Brosnan. But yeah, I'm not so much a fan of the modern ones. I don't know why, but yeah, definitely the older ones.
Again, it's always something that's shown at Christmas, isn't it? If you go back through the annals of ITV Christmas viewing, there's always a James Bond film on it at some point.
It was that or war film. Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, war film, yeah, Nazi films. There's loads of them at Christmas.
Like as a kid, I was obsessed with John Wayne because there was always a western with him in it on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, westerns are always staples of Christmas. You know, whether they're old ones or new ones. Eddie watched The Night Before with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen. It was all right. He's planning on watching Black Christmas this weekend. Zulu. There's another one. Michael Caine.
Zulu, God, yeah.
Yes, stop chucking bloody spears at me. That's what question for Sean. Has he watched Die Hard yet this Christmas? Oh, God.
No, because it's not a Christmas film.
Didn't say it was a Christmas film.
He's going to rage. He's going to rage.
Watched it, yeah.
He just asked if you'd watched it. So angry, Sean.
You put him in a Christmas jumper and the rage comes out.
Joe Bond films. Zulu is such a good film. Yeah, it's a classic. Going back all those years.
Have we got any Christmas comedy specials coming up this year? Because I wouldn't mind like a Taskmaster Christmas.
You got the Radio Times. Quick.
Oh God, I've got to just talk. Oh, there are some holiday adverts in here.
Camels.
Is there any TBCs?
Look, I'm not sitting all night going through this bloody TV guide. You know what I mean? Go and buy your own copies. £5.25 in all good and bad news agents. There you go.
I still can't get over £5.25.
Yeah.
£5.25.
Yes.
I bought a copy of Retro Gamer the other day. It cost me nearly £6. What is all that about? Why are magazines so expensive?
What are you looking for again?
Nath Taskmaster. They're doing the New Year's special again this year.
Are they? That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, that saves me some time. Then New Year's anyway.
There we go.
Nath Taskmaster would make a good Christmas special. The big fat quiz of the year, which Pete mentioned right at the very start, is always one. Years later, Retro Poke fan. Hello, mate. Years later, it'll be £10. Oh, it's like one of these things, isn't it? When you know, I'm not going to buy it if it goes for £5 again, or you know, it was £6, like cigarettes. You know, I'm not going to buy it was £7 a pack, £8 a pack. He said it bought it for £5.25.
He'd probably drive to get it.
Yeah, £5.20. Where from? Harrods. Dear me.
So newspapers. Does anybody buy newspapers anymore?
My mum does.
Newspapers now?
Yeah.
That's about
How much
it.
are they these days?
I think over £1. My mum buys them, but I think she gets them just for the vouchers for stuff. It'll be for stuff that she doesn't have or doesn't like, but she likes having vouchers.
They were 30p when I used to buy them. 30p.
What year was that? 1987.
Yeah.
Were they still in black and white? They have colour in them. You can get a TV Guide app. You can do. Unfortunately, although I agree with that. This is nostalgia. This is something I grew up with. So it's okay. Yeah, it's £5.25. We're having a bit of a laugh and a joke at it. But to be fair, I'll be stuck with this at Christmas because I tend to throughout the year, as we said before about people watching television in different ways. There's probably a ton of stuff this year I've completely missed because I haven't had access to a TV guide or I can't be bothered to sit there and go through the planner on whatever. So something like that, especially for Christmas, is quite invaluable because you will find occasionally you'll come across something that you probably would have missed. And then you'll either record it or you'll watch it and catch up at another point. Oh, I must remember to watch that. And then you find you've got a really good programme to watch.
It's true.
Is she doing a Doctor Who this year?
Maybe. New Year's Day, I believe.
Is this the last one, is it?
No, she's got, I think, another 2 to go after that. And then she changes into... Yeah. We've had the Flux, which was... all right.
I've literally watched one episode of it, but
The last one I watched, I think, was the second one that Jodie Whittaker was in, when the guy was doing Call of Duty skills to evade monsters, and I just thought, no, I'm not watching this anymore.
Was it short?
Yeah. Sean versus the Daleks, yeah.
Yeah, can't put your highlighter on the phone. That's true, because usually for the Radio Times, it's accompanied by a highlighter pen, so you know what you're watching.
You can, but
Yeah, you can edit the picture, just screenshot it.
Yeah.
To be fair, like the daily planner on Sky is about 7 days in advance, so you'd be able to pick what you wanted.
Can you still Video Plus? Hang on, I'm just checking.
Oh, Video Plus.
No, you can't. No, you
That
can't.
was amazing.
What's video?
We had a Video Plus machine. We had one, and we just never actually worked out how to use it. So we had it for years and never actually knew how to do it.
Just record the wrong program.
Did you just ask what Video Plus was, Sean?
Yeah, what is it?
You had a little code.
Don't ask him on again.
You had a little code in the TV Times, and you put that into your video, and it would know when the film or whatever it was started and ended, and it would just record it. So you didn't have to set a timer up, although you always had to add 10 minutes on at the end in case it overran or some crap, because it was a bit...
That's it, yeah.
iffy.
It was meant to be the instant way of making sure that you got stuff recorded.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just cut out right at the end sometimes.
It's just Sky Plus, but for video.
Yeah.
You couldn't beat doing it yourself, really, at the end of the day.
See how much you can cram on a VHS tape. Yeah,
or
You
long
had,
play.
long
play was the
play.
game changer.
Always recording long play.
Always recording long play and knacker
yeah,
your videotapes.
Did it?
Must be the only person. Well, yeah, I mean, it stretched it. That's what it did. Is stretch the tape. So it, you could do it, but it wasn't recommended you did it a hell of a lot of times because you would actually not ruin the tape.
Oh, I never had a problem with that.
Yeah. Game Shack. The only person who doesn't like Doctor Who. Retro Pope fans said, I used to be super into Doctor Who, but then stopped watching, got rid of everything by the end of the Peter Capaldi era. It wasn't a great time. That I must be honest with you. Doctor Who I used to love when I was a kid.
I stopped watching on a regular basis before David Tennant had even left. It was when it got to the point where it was David Tennant is God and every episode was about worshipping David Tennant. That was kind of when I stopped watching it.
Distinct hint of bitterness there, but we'll see.
I went back into it for Matt Smith, and I still think Matt Smith's the best one of the modern Doctors, but I don't think we got to the end of Matt Smith's run. I tried watching it a bit when Peter Capaldi started, and I really didn't like him. And then Jodie Whittaker, it wasn't her that I had the problem with. It was the companions. I didn't like them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good, a lot of interesting stuff he said there. I do agree with that. Matt Smith got a bit of a rough deal, I think. And he's very good, but I didn't like the stories at all. TV guide reading, yes, yeah, that'll be the next thing to do. I shall come out. James is with us. Games Zone Bird Room. Long day at work. You did mention earlier, mate. So glad to see you're here anyway. Video Plus never worked. Is teletext still a thing? No.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Is it?
I thought it went off.
I don't know. I know when. I mean, I'm talking as someone who doesn't even have terrestrial TV, like I said earlier. But when we had like Sky Plus and stuff back before I moved out, there was definitely teletext on that.
Oh, I thought it died with analog.
Yeah, it was sent on the analog signal, wasn't
might
it?
have done.
I think it was.
In fact, we had before we moved out of the flat, we had Virgin, and that had teletext on it as well. Wasn't the same by any means. It was like, really like flashy and HD and everything and all that. It wasn't like still like pixelated text and stuff, but they still called it teletext.
It reminds me of a Spectrum game, teletext.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I want to drink eggnog with Nath wearing nothing but mistletoe. Is there something you want to tell us about here, mate? Or?
I'm not doing anything.
It's an interesting Christmas wish, that one, John. David Tennant is not God. I agree. Matt Smith was good. David Tennant and Billy Piper, best partnership of them all. The stories and scripts were rubbish with Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, I do agree, Pedro. They have not been great. She's been very good. I must be honest with
I
you.
like the Christopher Eccleston one. I think he should have done longer.
I agree. I didn't mind him.
the thing that really took me out of Jodie Whittaker on the first episode is because a lot of it was filmed right near where I lived. and I could see like scenes where someone would take off in a van and drive in a certain direction, and then the next scene they'd be pulling up somewhere which was in the completely wrong direction, and that
continuity errors.
Yeah, that just knowing where I lived and everything like that kind of thing just really annoyed me. But
Who needs teletext with the power of the internet and palm my hand? James, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. Yeah. You can't have teletext.
Are you going to get cheap holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
play Bamboozle when you.
Yeah, people mentioned Bamboozler. Did anyone use WAP on their internet phone? Yes, I did. I was. I distinctly remember it was 2002, 2003, I think it was. And I used to wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning to check the cricket score from the Ashes, and just like put it on my WAP phone. It was great.
I used to go on a chat room. I used to sit and talk on a chat room on my WAP phone.
I bet that was a interesting wank.
Then Cardi B came along and ruined it for everyone.
Changing the subject rapidly. Has anybody seen 8-Bit Christmas yet?
No.
8-Bit Christmas.
I have.
What have you watched it on?
the same way Eddie watches his films.
You said it was on Netflix on one of the other streams, but it's not, and I can't find a way to watch it. But I suppose I'll just have to pirate it like everything else.
I thought it was on Netflix. I don't know. Anyway, there are ways you can watch it, which I'm sure if you message Eddie privately, he'll tell you how to do that. It's not terrible. It's a good Christmas film. So when you do get a chance to see it when it comes out,
I do really want to see it.
It's worth it. Yeah. It's not on Christmas. Just don't tell anybody.
Harold and Kumar Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete, you keep mentioning that one. Is that you, Pedro? Keep mentioning Harold and Kumar's Christmas. I'm pretty sure it was. Steve's seen 8-Bit Christmas. Pedro's seen it's on PTV. Oh, it's on. Yes, I thought it was on Sky. That's right. Yeah, it is on Sky. If anybody has got Sky, it is on there. I got Netflix confused with Sky. I do apologise. We talked about that the other day, Pete. Yeah, Sky Cinema. It's on. I have seen it listed. James, it's on Netflix.
It's not.
He then says Snowman, so I think he's drunk.
Oh, he's talking about Snowman. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Game Zone drunk tank is with us tonight. So that's. It is. I like. It's a good little film. It'll pass the time quite nicely. It's not too demanding. It's not too. Sometimes Christmas film can get a bit sugary and saccharine. It's not like that at all. It's got a nice ending to it as well. It's very well done. And if you're into gaming, as you might know people who are into gaming, they'll probably be interested in that.
We don't know anybody.
No, the Yellow Snowman Christmas special. Eddie's got to go. He's off to work. Have a good shift, Eddie. We'll see you again soon.
See you later.
There we go. And thank you very much, mate. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. This actually, I've quite enjoyed it. Nice to see so many people here. Carry on supporting the 12 streams and this particular one. This is not a TMB Christmas special, just in case someone's tuning in accidentally. It seems like it, but it's not. I'll tell you about that a bit later. Anybody want to add anything else before we bring this one to a close? Because we've covered quite a lot of topics, and I've gone through pretty much what I wanted to get through with you guys and your answers. So if anybody want to add anything to what we've talked about or bring anything up we haven't spoken about before we close?
Not from me, no.
Have we mentioned Nazis yet?
I don't think so.
We
might have mentioned it once, but I think we got away with it.
Okay, don't mention the Nazis.
Should have made it a drinking game. Mention Nazis, drink some schnapps.
Yeah.
The Yellow Snowman reference has been dining on that one all week.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who's tuned in tonight, whether you've liked the stream or not. It's just nice to see so many people in and commenting and joining in, which is great. And all these streams have been brilliantly reported. Don't report the stream; it's been really good. All these streams have been really well supported. There still are more to come, and again, I'll go through it all the way when we get to the very end. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yep, I should have to watch that. We always do Christmas.
Yeah.
Joe mentions Die Hard Christmas movie. Just
It does fall.
That's my national
I
anthem.
just realised what it says.
Can we just leave it there? There we go, Sean. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
It's not, Joe. It's not.
yeah. I think the National Socialist Christmas Vacation will be coming to a sequel near you soon as well. Does anyone watch all the Christmas cooking shows?
Yes, actually. My wife's a big fan of cooking shows and stuff, and we usually just have the Food Network on running. So many Jamie Oliver ones.
Yeah.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
What's
He was
Sugar Rush
doing a
Christmas?
show for the last 45 years. What's that, sorry?
What's Sugar Rush Christmas?
Right, okay.
That's on Netflix. It's awful. Absolutely awful. But it's cooking about Christmas, so there you go.
Is there a community news Christmas show coming, Sean?
It's in pipeline, yes.
Okay.
He's doing a review of Die Hard.
It's just going to be a big list of what films aren't Christmas films.
It's going to be a rant. It's going to be an angry rant for half an hour. No, Die Hard isn't a Christmas film. That's the
Yeah.
I'm still wanting more people's Christmas messages sending to me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that.
I've only got one person's at minute. Straight away.
Look, there's enough people listening. If you know Sean, right, and this man sitting down here, yeah. If you know him, and you've been asked to send him a Christmas message for his video, get on it. He wants one. You know, we all love community news. It's one of the best things on YouTube. We all love it. We know Sean puts a lot of effort into it. If he has asked you, if he hasn't asked you, send him a bloody video. It ain't gonna be very long. A brief Christmas message from you to everybody else out there. Do it. Yeah.
Or the possibilities.
It's going to be everybody crawling through air ducts, isn't it, with a vest on?
Yeah.
I think what we should do is go all Clockwork Orange and sort of strap him down, Clockwork Orange size, pull his eyeballs like that, and make him watch it until he admits it's a Christmas film.
And the second one's even got snow in it.
Yeah, just strap him down until he gets it done, whether he was the first or second one or not. I don't really care. Right, guys, I'm going to end the stream there and do a bit of signing off afterwards. So, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming in. It's been great you joined us on a Friday night, not the easiest night of the week to do it, especially so close to Christmas. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, but also my esteemed guests tonight. Liam, next to me, Retro Ram, Pete Fighter 2, Sean Retro Games Revived, and Nath Retro 1 with his cat. There we go. Cat's good.
Marley as well.
Marley, Marley the
That's
cat.
a Christmas name.
There we go. Hang on. Let me just. We can have a quick look at the cat. There we go.
He's proper happy about this.
Nice pussy. There we go. Thanks to all the guys. I'm going to just run you backstage for the moment, but appreciate your contributions tonight and giving it your time. So if you want to give everybody a wave, and I'll just drop you all backstage. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. It's been an absolute pleasure to be talking to you with my friends this evening about this wonderful subject, and a subject very, very close to my heart. This is part of the 12 Streams of Christmas. If you haven't seen the previous 6, and there are 6, they're all in the description below. You can go across and click on the links there. They'll take you back to previous discussions. We've been doing different subject matters all the way through Christmas. It's exciting. We've still got more to come. Cooper's World tomorrow night. Christmas food and drink. What a big staple of that Christmas time of year it is. Steve tomorrow night. He's got some guests on as well. Go across that one. Monday the 20th. Jim Corbana. He's doing a Christmas quiz, and you don't have to be one of these StreamYard setup types at all. You can join in, log in remotely. There's a leaderboard going to be going. It's all about Christmas as well. Don't think because we all do games and stuff, it's going to be about gaming. It's going to be about Christmas. I'm really looking forward to that because I do love a good quiz. And I think Jim's really looking forward. He's going to put a lot of effort into it. And I know a lot of us tubers are looking forward to it. Not part of the 12 Streams of Christmas. I'm going to mention it anyway. Retrobait, Paul, he's got his Christmas quiz on Tuesday the 22nd. That's the Champion of Champions Sega Zombie against his very special guest, Larry Bundy Jr. If you don't know, Larry Bundy Jr. is a massive gamer, very well-known personality. That should be brilliant. Thursday the 23rd, Game Zone Bird Room. We've got a Secret Santa. 18 YouTubers are unveiling their Secret Santa gifts. That's on the 23rd. That's next Thursday. I've missed one out. I think Martin, that UK game, is doing a stream on Tuesday, but we're not quite sure what the subject is. I think it might be a review of 2021. But if you check Steve's stream out tomorrow night and Jim's stream out on Monday, more details about that. And then it all culminates next Friday, this time next week, likely to run for about 3 or 4 days. Big Game Al's Christmas Eve extravaganza, from running from, I don't know, whatever time it is in the afternoon until whatever time he finishes. I think he went 8 hours or something last year. He'll be inviting people to go on, talk about their Christmas, what's happening, having a few drinks, having a few laughs, open to everybody. It should be absolutely fantastic. I'm also going to mention as well, because it is my channel, we've got a TMB Christmas special on Sunday. 8 o'clock on this very channel. We're discussing the Master System with our very, very special guest, and some of the TMB boys will be with us as well. That'll be our Christmas special for this year. Do hope you can join us on this channel, 8 o'clock on Sunday. That's the 19th at 8 o'clock. And also tomorrow, very, very quickly, my final Desert Island Games of 2021. I've got a special guest lined up. You won't want to miss that one. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You'll have to listen tomorrow. That gets uploaded at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on my channel. It's available to watch whenever you want. Do dip in, and it's a really, really great chat. You will enjoy it. In the meantime, thank you so much to everybody who's been here tonight. You guys are absolutely fantastic. These streams would not be working so well without you. It's absolutely brilliant. Martin says, just so you're aware, I'll be doing one of the 12 streams on Tuesday talking about 2021. That's great, Martin. Thank you for that, mate. Brilliant. And as Claire says, there are links in the description below to all the previous streams, to all the ones that are upcoming as well. This has been absolutely brilliant. You guys have been fantastic. My guests have been fantastic. This is going to go on any better. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in. Therefore, I will wish you, if I don't see you beforehand, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be lurking around the streams anyway. Have a great Christmas. Have a safe Christmas, please. There's so much stuff going on out there at the moment. I can't emphasize enough. Make this Christmas a safe one. Enjoy yourselves. Do what you can, but please be safe. Nobody wants to catch this dreadful illness going around at the moment. So please do take care. Look after your loved ones. Look after each other. And we'll see you again very soon. But from the Retro Bear and my guest tonight, thanks very much for watching. Take care.